All right, we're doing stock up and stock down after the UCL round of 16. We got Michael Talks Football back on the channel once again. Which players had the biggest hype increase and which ones came crashing down to earth? That's what we're going to be breaking down in this video. You guys follow along in the comments. Subscribe for more UCL content here on Deadball TV. We'll have the quarterfinals predictions dropping probably after the international break. Make sure you check out Michael's channel as well. We usually start with the negatives, but we're going to start with the positive vibes. We're going to let the hater pot simmer a little bit. So if you only want to see that, you're gonna have to skip to the second half of this video. We'll go the stock ups first, and this is not in order of biggest stock up and then descending. We're just saying players who had a good round of 16. I'm gonna be a bit of a simp here because he's my guy, but Harry Kane, and I think it's Harry Kane because he has to be a top 5 Ballon d'Or nominee after the round of 16. Do you disagree?
Top 5, 6 to 7. I would put him there.
You wouldn't put him number 5?
I would have Pedri over him. I can't lie.
So I'm gonna guess. Would you still have surely not Salah still over him?
I still would, to be honest.
Oh.
Even after what happened.
It's a whole video on itself. Salah or Kane in the Ballon d'Or down below in the comments. Okay, so you have him 6 just out?
Yeah, 6, 7, somewhere around there.
I'm just looking at it like this. He's 5th in Europe amongst all players in the top 5 leagues in goals scored this season. He's got 12 GA in the UCL so far. Specifically in the round of 16, 3 goals, 1 assist against Leverkusen, who they completely annihilated. I mean, that's pretty beast mode. And you know I love Kane, back to my Spurs fandom. I think he put himself back in the Ballon d'Or conversation. I think he was probably 9th before the round of 16. Maybe even you could go 10 or 11 if you're just saying the Bundesliga is washed, which I wouldn't fully say, even though it's kind of a down year for the division. But I think because he's back in the Ballon d'Or conversation, I would have him 5 currently. And I think he is definitely in the best striker in Europe conversation. I don't know if he ever left that, but some will say that he did because Bayern didn't win a trophy last season. I think it's been a great season for Kane. People keep saying that physically he looks like he's finished. I haven't quite seen that yet. He's never really been physically that good ever. But yeah, I think it was a good round of 16 for him, and I think he's got to be, of the Bayern players, I think he's got to be one of the bigger stock ups, if not the biggest one.
What do you think about this notion that he doesn't show up in the big games throughout his career? Whether it's the Champions League or for England, because, look for England. What did he do the last Euros? Last World Cup, he missed the penalty against France. World Cup in 2018, he really should have scored it off to Sterling, and maybe England would have been in the final instead of Croatia. I think Kane has this sort of, obviously, when it talks about the Premier League and the big games, the dude always showed up. North London derby. It's a guarantee that Kane would score. I haven't seen that quite yet from him at Bayern Munich, but that 2 games he had against Bayer Leverkusen, yeah, he tormented them. His link-up play, everything about Kane. When you just think of Kane, you just think of good link-up play, awesome in the box, and just elite finishing. And that's what Kane was. And, some people want to hate, and some people want to say, oh, it's Kane. Oh, what about, Yerkeres? What about Alexander Isak? You know who Harry Kane is? And I think I've said this to you before. Maybe we said this in another video. He's Jason Tatum. Nobody talks about him, but when he performs, everybody's like, oh my God, look how amazing he is. Whereas we're like, this is always Harry Kane. So yeah, a little bit of stock up, but I mean, it's Harry Kane. I think people just wanted him to show up in the knockout stage of the UCL.
Do you think there's a different Bayern player who you would nominate over him?
Yes. I didn't even have Harry Kane. I have another Bayern player. That's Upamecano.
Okay, I thought you were going to go Kim Min-jae because I thought he was good in the 16.
I thought Upamecano was better. Far better. Well, I wouldn't say far better. I thought they were both really good, but I got to say, man, Upamecano, this guy gets so much disrespect. He absolutely locked down Florian Wirtz in that first game. Second game, yeah, Bayer Leverkusen created a little bit more chances, but I thought Upamecano was fantastic, and this is a player that deserves some respect. I think he gets disrespected because not a lot of people watch the Bundesliga or watch Bayern Munich, and they're like, he's just a mistake-prone player. But these 2 games against a very good team like Leverkusen, he balled out, and I thought he was fantastic. Now, he's got to do that again. You can't just do that for one round, Upamecano. Can he do it against Inter, who have 2 very good strikers in their team? So yeah, I thought Upamecano, he's stock up for me.
I think for Upamecano, it's exactly what you said, where people don't watch the Bundesliga, and so they only see him in the knockout games, and he makes more mistakes against the elite sides. So they're like, oh, this guy's a knobhead. Like, I'm going to be honest. I am a Upamecano hater. I don't really rate the guy that much. I still don't know if I'd put him in my top 10 CBs. Just me. Probably put him in the 11 to 13 range, something like that. I've just seen too much. I couldn't go with the defender from Bayern because Leverkusen, Wirtz gets hurt. He was very poor in the first leg, but he gets injured, so he doesn't even play in the second leg. And I just think overall, man, Leverkusen couldn't create anything really. I thought it was a really comprehensive victory from, and Vincent Kompany needed that. We talked about that in our preview, and he excelled A+ in this regard. Like we said, said, you cannot lose to another Bundesliga team. Not only did they win, they stomped. And so that's why I was like, I think Bayern Munich stock up, but I would highlight Kane because of just the sheer goal involvements, and the one flick on he had in the second leg was disgusting. That kind of just killed the tie.
Oh yeah, to Davis. Oh, that was ridiculous by him.
It was so good. His passing again just underrated. But
so
okay,
what do you not what do you not like about Upamecano? Do you just think he makes too many mistakes? Because I've seen a lot of Kim Min-jae this season. I know he's your guy, but he's made a lot of mistakes as well.
Yes, I do think it's the mistakes. And to be clear, Kim Min-jae has not been good this season. I wouldn't put Kim Min-jae in my current CB power rankings. I mean, we talked about that. He's not in my top 5 either. Is he in my top 10? Maybe I would put him 10 out of respect for the Napoli season, but that's only going to last so much longer. Like that's
that juju wears off quickly.
It's a bubble shield, and those things only last like 20 seconds in Halo. So I'm not sure how much longer he has, if that's even evaporated. And I mean, there are other center backs. If I can move on to one that I think is a massive stock up, who is certainly ranked above him this season, that's William Pacho.
I had him on my list too.
The guy who plays for the team that you're repping right now. I mean, how good was that performance against Liverpool? Unreal.
It sucks that it happened against my team, but I said this, and people can go look at my Twitter. I said this back in April when he was playing for Eintracht Frankfurt. Liverpool signed him. The dude is unstoppable. The thing you have and guarantee in life, people, depth, taxes, and Independiente de Valle producing elite center backs. Where does William Pacho come from? De Valle. Hincapié from De Valle. I mean, I don't know what this club does. I don't know what they feed the center backs. Ordóñez as well, who plays for Club Brugge. They're all from Independiente de Valle. I don't understand it, but William Pacho, some people haven't seen him play. The way he locked down Liverpool in both legs. Okay, maybe they were under the cosh, I would say, in the second leg. I thought he had a great game still. It's not like about his ball playing ability, but I think he complements Marquinhos so well. Because Marquinhos a bit more of the leader, much more comfortable on the ball, but William Pacho is a defender. Defending first, whereas in the past, PSG have had Kimpembe, not reliable, and old Sergio Ramos, you can't really rely on him. They've had like Lucas Hernandez, they've tried so many different players, but they have now found the Great Wall of Ecuador. William Pacho, and I'll say it right now, he might be a top 3 CB in South America already. I think he's that good. I think he's soon going to get to the level of Cuti Romero. Call me crazy, people, just watch William Pacho, even for Ecuador. You saw it at the Copa America. He was elite there, continuing the form, and I think that's why PSG got past Liverpool. If it was Kimpembe next to Marquinhos, no, they're conceding.
100%. I'm not going to hate on your approaching top 3 CB in South America. The thing that Pacho has that Cuti doesn't have is a level head. Cuti is a hot-headed player, and he will concede stupid fouls and get red cards and unnecessary yellows. He's got the Sergio Ramos like craziness a little bit that Pacho doesn't have. He's a very level-headed guy. Like, he's a freak athlete. Ball playing ability is crazy good. And yeah, I think next to Marquinhos, who I also thought was really good. Marquinhos was really good in that leg. I think he's been an overhated defender as well because he's been in PSG. But Pacho, man, I mean, the fact that only hipsters such as us and maybe CONMEBOL fans knew who he was before the round of 16, and then afterwards you have everybody from the Big Six in the Premier League twerking on the timeline, begging their sporting directors to sign this guy. I mean, he might be one of the biggest stock ups. I mean, I would say he's got to be top 3 best clout increase after the round of 16, William Pacho.
He got that Gymshark deal.
He did get the Gymshark sponsorship. They are on the phone with his agent right now, and I'm sure the deal will be finalized for Fabrizio Romano in the next 24 hours here. It's just incredible for Pacho, and he needed this because he's a Ligue 1 player, so you got to do it in the UCL to get respect, and he did that.
And especially against the best team in the Champions League and one of the best teams in Europe this season. Like, if he did that against Club Brugge, would we have really like a stock up? Not so much, but he did it against Liverpool, who have been very good this season, so I think that even elevates his stock up even more.
I'm glad you brought that up. Do you have an Aston Villa player to stock up after the round of 16?
Yes, I do. And I think we both have the same one. Do you?
Oh, don't tell me
you don't.
On loan?
He is on loan. Is he Spanish? Sí, señor. Es Marcos Asensio. Of course, bro.
Asensio, bro.
What did he get? 3 goals off the bench in these 2 games. And he didn't even start? I think he was coming back from injury in the first leg, if I'm not mistaken. Second leg, I mean, yeah, it was advantage of Club Brugge being down to 10 men, but still. Marcos Asensio and Rashford. Penny Hardaway and Shaq. You can't stop these two. The elite duo. And it's just, Marcos Asensio, I thought he was just an afterthought. I thought, okay, you're going to PSG. Okay, Luis Enrique, he doesn't really rate you. Maybe Marcos Asensio will go to Como. Como, go play under Cesc Fabregas, go Serie A, go ball out there. But he's going to Villa. Clearly, Unai Emery just saw, I need an experienced player in Champions League competitions, has that individual quality. I don't think Villa have like a lot of difference makers in their team. They have a lot of good players like the Morgan Rogers, Watkins, Tillemans, a lot of good players, but they need that difference maker in the midfield and in the number 10 role. And Marcos Asensio has been, soon going to have to say he's been one of the best signings this season, even from the summer, but he's only joined in January. And to sort of rectify his career, I think he will get a move this summer because I don't think he's got any future at PSG. Where he will go, I don't know. That's interesting debate, but I think he was fantastic in these two games. And now it's going to get so fascinating when he goes up against PSG. All that is going to be cinema to see. Is he going to pull a Coutinho against Barca?
I don't know. I was looking at Asensio's UCL record overall. He's got pretty good goal record on paper in knockout games, scored against Juventus in the final when Real Madrid won 4-0 and just ran them over. But I've noticed it seems like in every single campaign, he's got like one phase of the competition where he gets like 2 goals, 1 assist, and then go show the rest of the knockouts. So it's going to be curious to see, is this another case of him just having a good round? Like, was it just a good matchup for him against Club Brugge? And he's going to be irrelevant again in the quarterfinals, much like he was literally irrelevant before the loan move to Villa. I don't know. I think that the performance he's had for Villa in the Prem got him rated again, and people were like, oh my gosh, like maybe Asensio's not washed. But then doing this in the UCL, it's like, do we make this move permanent and how much does it cost? You know, like now it's like you can't ignore what he's doing for them. And I'm so glad that he's doing this because he is equaling and battling what Anthony is doing in Real Betis. Because we know Anthony going from Man U to Betis and doing well, what do they say? Oh, La Liga's a farmer's league, it's washed. One of the worst signings in Prem history is cooking in La Liga. I always knew this league was finished. But now you got Asensio going to Aston Villa and he's cooking in the Prem and he's cooking in the UCL. So now it's like right back in the face of those Prem simps, and it kind of negates their argument, which I always love to see and I get great satisfaction from. So yeah, Asensio stock up for sure.
Do you think that's down to Unai Emery?
I mean, you have to give credit to the managers when a player goes from washed to vital. Like, how can it not be the manager? I'm sure you give credit to just the change in scenery, right? You leave a terrible job and you go to a new one. You're just going to have a little bit more pep in your step because you're out of the old place, of course. But I think the longer the revival in form continues, the more it is the manager and the less it is just change of scenery, right? So if Asensio falls off tomorrow, then you could say, he just needed to get out. But if he keeps going until the end of the season in the Premier League, or as long as, Villa survive in the UCL, how can it not be Unai Emery?
I think Unai Emery is just a brilliant manager. He just gets the best out of his players. Look at Rashford. Rashford's the same thing. Dead and washed at Manchester United. Amorim didn't want to use him at all. So Asensio is just in a perfect scenario where he doesn't even have to play like out wide. He just makes those late runs into the box. Like, look at all of his goals. It's just basically a cutback from Rashford. Asensio's at the edge of the box. Golazzo. That's all they're pretty much a carbon copy. All 7 goals or 6 goals that he scored for Villa. So, but his stock was, it was at like 0.05 when he joined Villa. Nobody thought, okay, cool, a loan move. Yeah, Asensio, very good player. But right now, I think that stock is maybe over $1 right now. And I know he wants to stick it to Luis Enrique. I think Unai Emery will start him in both games. He will not come off the bench.
Oh, we were at the point where Liga MX clubs were on the phone with Asensio's agent. He was going to go link up with Sergio Ramos. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I made that up, but it sounds believable, okay. Right? That's the point, is that it sounded realistic. Or the LA Galaxy being like, okay, damn, Griezmann's coming into LAFC next year. Well, I guess we get Asensio, and it would have been a realistic move. I don't think anybody outside of like Asensio Sims, who have his face as their profile picture on Twitter, nobody else would have been like, God, really, Asensio to North America? He's too good for that. No, he wasn't. And now you look at it, you're like, he's 29. He might have 4 more years in Europe. If he takes care of his body, why not? Maybe like William Pacho was the biggest stock up from people who had like already a pretty decent stock, and then it went up. Asensio's the greatest penny stock that blew up.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody had any ownership in that at all, like whatsoever. I have a question for you on this one, because I think there are 2 nominees at his position, and there's an argument for both. Bigger stock up, Alisson or Donnarumma?
No, I think it's still Alisson. Is there really a stock up, though? Because we know that Alisson is a great goalkeeper. But obviously, he had just an all-time performance against PSG. Whereas Donnarumma, he made some decent saves, I thought, in the second leg at Anfield. But we already know he's a great penalty shot stopper. So I wouldn't really say either goalkeeper had a stock up. We kind of knew already that, both goalkeepers are elite at different phases of goalkeeping. Donnarumma, though, he needs to fix up goalkeeping-wise in the game. Penalties, cool. You're elite, bro. Whereas Alisson, you got to fix up on penalties. I mean, go somewhere. Go to some Inca tribe and just practice on saving penalties, because this guy can't do it for Brazil. He can't do it for Liverpool. Kelleher's better at penalties than Alisson. Did I get that right? I don't know. We'll have to edit that out maybe. But yeah, Alisson and Donnarumma, did they really get their stock up? Not so much. Nah, I'm trying to think of other goalkeepers, but not really like a standout goalkeeper was present in these round of 16. No, I'm trying to think like Courtois. Oh, yeah, Leverkusen was terrible. Kovar was an atrocity. Villa, maybe Dibu Martinez from the first leg, possibly none. Inter, no. Arsenal, no, not really with David Raya. I mean, don't even get me started on the PSV goalkeeper, because that was an atrocity. So I don't think any goalkeepers had a stock up.
Let me make the case here, because I do think it's a minor stock up for either one. I think for Alisson, it is the fact that at least I see him disregarded very often in the best goalkeeper conversation. And it bothers me a lot, because I'm looking at him, I'm like, dude, okay, maybe David Raya, the one season when his save percentage was like 90%, like when his last season at Brentford and maybe first season at Arsenal, maybe that 2-year window, he was better than Alisson. Maybe he was. But it bothers me that in the last 6 years, when we look at the Premier League, Alisson isn't respected enough, in my opinion. Because if he's not one, he's usually two. And maybe at worst, he's the third best keeper in the division in any given calendar year. And so it bothers me that I see that so often. And I think even for Brazil, like you see him splitting top minutes with Ederson. And I'm like, how on earth does anybody think Ederson is better than Alisson? Like the fact that that's a debate means Alisson's underrated. He is clear of Ederson. I'm sorry, it's not even close. Maybe Ederson's better at passing. I don't give a damn, bro. Save the shots. That's what I care about. So because of that dialogue that exists, I think Alisson is a little underrated. He's not grossly underrated. People don't think he sucks. Some people think like, oh, sell him and start Kelleher. I'm like, oh, whoa.
Well, to be fair though, there was some Liverpool fans that said, is Alisson on the downward spiral? Because obviously we signed Mamadishvili from Valencia, and we're like, oh, maybe this is Alisson's final season, which it still could be because he could be moving on. But some people were like, is Alisson washed? That was the chatter back in December from some Liverpool fans. I'm not saying all of them. I was like, are you guys like smoking crack or something?
That's shocking to me.
This is Alisson, one of the best goalkeepers in Liverpool's history, and we're just going to disregard him like that? Well, he said, watch this. I got a magic night in Paris, and it's just a shame that he didn't go through because he deserved it. I thought he was even in the second leg. That save he made on Dembele 101 or the Desiree Doué save, I thought they were better than the first leg.
I'm looking at the rest of my list. I actually don't think I have another player who I nominated that got eliminated for a stock up. Alisson was the only one.
What about the argument for Donnarumma? Is there any stock up for him?
It's a bit more meta. I'll break it down. It's very simple for me. Would PSG have lost? Then I think a lot of people would have looked back on the Harvey Elliott goal and they would have been like, Donnarumma did it again. It's a savable shot. He gets his hand on it. He should have kept it out. He doesn't step up when it matters. That would have been the dialogue around him. It's like, he's like, ever since Euro 2016, we're kind of seeing this pattern of flopping in the big moments when the lights are brightest. And I think that it was a bad moment for him. He was able then to go to Anfield, make great saves in that game, and then of course the penalty shootout. It's like, okay, everybody's talking about how much of a beast he is again. So I think the streets especially like, oh, Donnarumma, he went from being clowned a lot. I think he would have gotten crucified if Liverpool won. To, you know what, you're making a good point here, because maybe it wasn't a stock up, maybe he prevented a massive stock down is maybe what I would say. Like he held the line.
It's like this. It's just like the line is just like this. Still.
Okay.
But in the quarterfinal, that can plummet immediately because it's Donnarumma at the end of the day in Champions League. For Italy, no, that guy is a lead for me.
Maybe it's kind of like the Upamecano thing. Maybe something similar there, where it's like,
yeah.
If he made a mistake, would have been like, guy's a fraud. When are Bayern going to sell him? But because Bayern won and he had a good showing and Leverkusen were pretty much castrated in the game, then it's kind of like, Upamecano, he was solid. You know what I mean? Maybe this is the same thing for Donnarumma. It's like, Donnarumma, good penalty saver. But they would have lost. It was never close to Buffon and,
There would have been so many of those grok images on social media of like Donnarumma like in a clown suit or something. The timeline would have just been filled with it. I would have seen everywhere on YouTube and social media, this guy never going to be good enough. Why did he choose the money to go to PSG? But he came up clutch for his team when they needed him most. He knew, I have to now step up for my team. My attack did well. My midfield did well. My defense did well. Now it's my time to shine. And I'm happy for Donnarumma. I think he does get a lot of stick, but I can't forget that save. Or lack of save against Elliott was actually horrendous. He should save that every day. So good that he rectified it, but sad it was against my team. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure
screw you, Donnarumma.
You got another stock up?
Now, this is a very, very expensive defensive stock, but I think this guy just deserves it. It's Fede Valverde.
Okay.
I just cannot deny, like, what we're seeing right now is an unbelievable midfielder. I think he's just, everybody just talks about engine, like he's some Ferrari car out there. No, this guy, do we not forget about that assist he gave to Rodrigo for the first goal? Do we not see the incredible defensive work, interceptions, everything? Like Valverde, I didn't even know he had some of this in his game. I knew he could run up and down. I knew he could find a pass. But now I'm just seeing so much more from Fede. And we know he's got a bullet of a shot. I mean, this guy is just turning out to be one of the bargains of this century. The fact he cost $6 million from Peñarol to go to Madrid, for me, I think he's played better than Bellingham this season. You can say what you want for Real Madrid fans. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think Fede has been a top 3 player for Real Madrid this, and he just showed why he's so valuable, because he had to play in the right back position against Atletico in the first leg. Same again in the second leg. Then he switched to the midfield when Vasquez came on, and I thought him and Camavinga, then they controlled the game a lot more, and Madrid created some half chances. I just think Fede, his stock is just going crazy right now. He's getting to that level of being one of the best midfielders in the world. Whereas last couple of years, it's been like a hipster pick. Oh, everybody wants to talk about Bellingham, Vinny, Rodrigo, Modric. Valverde's just in the background doing his work. Now he's getting the recognition. So I think his stock, though, is it's getting higher and higher as we go on with this Champions League run and this La Liga season.
Yeah, he's like the Costco stock. It's like $600 if you want to own one share, but it still went up 10% after the round of 16.
Yeah, that's a great point.
He's got the branding problem. We've talked about this. They talk about him like he's Conor Gallagher. He's a runner. He's going to run in the midfield. Conor Gallagher wishes that he was Fede Valverde. He just doesn't have the bag. Fede's got a bag. It's not like Kyrie Irving's bag when it comes to handling, but the dude can do it all. And I think because he can do it all, he's never going to be regarded as like the GOAT CM, right? Or the GOAT right back, because he's a victim of his own success. But I do agree that it was definitely a stock up for him. I have a very hipster one here. Álvaro Carreras from Benfica.
Okay. I like that shout.
Now, I haven't seen Lamine Yamal defended that well many times. In the first leg in Portugal, he did a phenomenal job. In the second leg, I guess he got hurt in the league or maybe in the domestic cup.
He got suspended. Too many yellow cards.
Yellow cards. He did pick up a yellow in the first leg. Okay. Well, then Benfica had to sub on Samuel Dahl, and he just got cooked. Like, absolutely cooked away. I get it. It was in Spain instead of in Portugal, but, like, how much worse Benfica's backline looked, you have to give some credit to Carreras. And I was looking at him, dude, 21 years old. Hilariously, I think he's a Man U Academy guy. Of the guys going into the round of 16, I did not even know his name. I didn't know he existed. You could have shown me his face. I'd have been like, I don't know who that is. Looks like a young Falcao. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at here. I think he was the biggest stock up of the complete unknowns. And now I'm going to be paying attention, the next time. I don't know what his contract situation is at Benfica, but, next year when they're playing in the Champions League again, or if there's big games in the Portuguese league this year, I'm going to be watching this guy because I was very, very impressed.
Nah, he is a baller. I think Benfica paid, I think it was like 7 million or 6 million from Manchester United for him. They paid nothing for him. And look, he's been balling out this entire season. He actually has locked down Lamine Yamal in 2 games this year. In the first game where there was the Madness 5-4, he was great. In that game, it was a bit more like just a chaotic game. And Lamine Yamal I don't think he had a goal in that game. No, it was Lewandowski and Rafinha that got the goals. But in the first leg in Lisbon, I thought he did an incredible job just defensively, just on one-on-one situations, because Benfica weren't just sitting back and just saying, okay, here, Barcelona, you take the ball for the entire time. No, Benfica took the game and they left space to Barcelona. Paredes had to do a lot of defensive work, and I thought, once again, he just showed his quality. It's a shame that he got suspended because he would have probably done a better job than Samuel Dahl. I felt bad for the Swede. I think he was thrown into the deep ocean and the great white sharks just chewed him up. So I feel bad for Samuel Dahl.
Javi Galan out there.
Javi Galan, I mean, bro, he looked like, trying to think of another player, but yeah, Javi Galan's a good example because Samuel Dahl he's a young player, so you cannot like rip him apart, but he was struggling big time. So yeah, that's actually a good pick. I like that for a team that lost as well.
Is he younger than Carreras?
Who's Samuel Dahl?
Is he younger than 21?
I think they're both 21, or maybe Samuel Dahl's like 20 or 19. Yes, but they're around the same age.
Okay, yeah, Benfica, they got a bunch of young ballers. I was wrong earlier. I said Allison was my only player on here that got eliminated, but yeah, Carreras as well. For the sake of time, we probably should move on to the stock down, but I just want to say Nuno Mendes, so good. And we can just, for the sake of time, we can leave it at that. Take a bow, son. What a performance.
Also, Vitinha, so good.
Yes. Vitinha. God, man, how much has that man got gassed up? After I've seen the best midfielder in the world shouts. It's been a little much.
Okay, let's not go that far. Let's
It's
not
been
go
a
that
little
far.
much. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, hold on, bro. Like, I get it, he can control the game, but just settle down. It was just 2 legs against Liverpool, albeit. Let's go into the stock downs now. Let's stop with the foreplay. Why don't you go first? Stock downs.
Mo Salah. I'm very disappointed from what I saw. Did not.
Biggest
I mean,
stock down?
you could say that. Yeah. I was looking at my list here. Yeah. You could probably say Mo Salah was my biggest letdown. And the stock is plummeting from the PSG game. Even Southampton, I don't think he was good. The Newcastle was terrible. The second leg against PSG, like he had a good 10 minutes. First 10 minutes, I thought, oh, Mo Salah's here. The Egyptian king will rise and claim his throne. And then PSG said, watch this, and we're going to kick down your throne. And Mo Salah did absolutely nothing. I mean, nothing. And it's a shame because he's had a phenomenal season. It's not even just about the GA. And I know what I've seen this week, everybody's ripping him apart. I'm like, have you not been seeing what he's been doing for 6 months? But it's recency bias that's killing a lot of people. And I can understand. He was not good in both games. And when you're getting Ballon d'Or shouts, and he's obviously the only attacker who's clinical for this Liverpool team, if you don't show up, then Liverpool's attack doesn't show up. And that's why Liverpool got only 1 goal from only 1 shot on target in the first game. And Salah had a couple of opportunities to score. Yeah, I think he was a big letdown, especially for a Ballon d'Or contender. Rafinha showed up. Dembele showed up. Mo Salah, quiet. And it sucks to say, because I love the guy.
I mean, he probably went from the majority of people's number 1 in the Ballon d'Or to, geez, maybe you can have him 4 now. But he had to have slid third. Dude, after the cup game too, he needed that cup for me. I think he's a 4 or 5. I'm gonna be honest.
And he was not good in that League Cup either. Oh my God, he was even worse. I thought.
Newcastle, great defensive team, but it's funny because you said recency bias. Have you guys forgotten what he's done in the last 6 months? This is stock up, stock down. That's the same thing with stocks. It's the perception of the company. What does the company's future look like? People can see the balance sheet, see that everything was great, and the stock plummets because people are like, oh, there's not going to be any room for growth in the future. We're getting way too financial, and I apologize for that. But I mean, it's the same for Mohamed Salah. Like, we're talking his value as a player, his monetary value as a player. I mean, how many millions came off of his transfer value after that round of 16 and now the cup final? Given his age also at the same time, it's like, oh my God. I mean, it is an overreaction. Much like Vitinha, is he the best midfielder in the world? Overreaction. Mohamed Salah, is he worse than Nkunku now? Like, it's like overreaction again at the same time, just going the other way. But it has to be a stock down. It's because of where he was heading into this round. There's a reason that Darwin Nunez isn't the biggest stock down, because his stock was already down and nobody was rating him anymore outside of maybe the most diehard Uruguayos. Everybody else has jumped ship. But with Salah, man, after that performance, bro, he was so bad. Like, he was so bad. He beat Nuno Mendes once at Anfield. And I think it was in the first 8 minutes, if you remember, he beat him at midfield. And I was like, oh,
that's it.
Well, Salah showed up today. Nah, that was it. If Salah is the Egyptian pharaoh, then Nuno Mendes is the Roman Empire. And they just went in there, conquered everything. Cleopatra killed herself, and boom, we're now a Roman colony for goddamn 500 years or whatever it is.
Do you credit more Nuno Mendes, or do you think just Salah was just horrifically bad?
I'm going to credit Mendes, bro. He was a dog. It was disgusting how good he was. Yeah, I said, you know what? When I was watching, I was thinking, what does him versus Yamal look like when these teams meet in the UCL final?
You know what? That would be an all-time matchup, though. With the way Nuno Mendes is playing, the way Yamal is playing, those two go toe-to-toe, and we know it's going to be a lot of one-on-one situations. Bro, that is a battle for the ages for me. But yeah, Salah ain't looking good. But you know what? He ain't the only Liverpool player. I have another one as well. That is Ryan Gravenberch.
The chosen one. Prince who was promised.
That Prince, he might need to be taken down at ASAP, because what I've seen from him, not even just like these games. Remember, his stock has been going crazy. From August to December 2024, biggest stock up in football. Hands down. Him and Rafinha. For me, he was the best Liverpool player from August to December. 2025, he has not been good. He just looks, I don't even want to say fatigue, but he just doesn't even look comfortable on the ball. And I think a lot of teams have sussed out that he generates all the attacks. He receives the ball. He does that one little move where he dummies that way, goes the other way, and that's obviously where all the attacks for Liverpool begin. But now I wanted to see, okay, Ryan Gravenberch, you haven't had a good 2025. And the one thing PSG have is a very good midfield. So you needed to show up in this tie. And yeah, he didn't show up, and I thought he got bullied. He got bullied by John Neves, by Fabian Ruiz, and by Vitinha, and he had 0 to no impact I thought McAllister was better in the second leg. And if Ryan Gravenberch just stepped up a little bit more, maybe Liverpool would have got a goal. I think this was a bit of a stock down for Ryan Gravenberch, who still, I thought, had a great season, but 2025 has not been his year. He looks very much not the player that we saw in the early stages of this season.
Okay, I was trying to not go multiple guys from every team, but yes, Gravenberch really struggled, and I'm not sure how much responsibility you want to give to PSG's midfield being really, really strong, or how much you look at guys like McAllister, who I actually thought defensively was quite well. He just wasn't controlling the game at all, like how much it reflects on him and his teammates. But definitely not stock up for Gravenberch, I'll tell you that, because yeah, I think of like the players with clout in the Prem, at least, I would agree he probably had the biggest stock up. I think there's some hipster picks of other guys you could say that, like, oh, he went from dead to relevant. Jed Spence at Tottenham, you could say, but Jed Spence didn't have any clout, so he's not going to overtake Gravenberch there. Am I hating if I put Florian Wirtz on here?
Yes. You can't do that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I veto that.
Okay. I only have one bullet point for this, and it just is because he's out of the Ballon d'Or race.
Yeah, I don't think he was even in it to begin with, unless Leverkusen won the Champions League. But to be honest, I thought Xabi Alonso lost that tie for them. I can't really blame Wirtz. Yeah, Wirtz didn't have a good game and the only game he played against Bayern Munich, but you would kind of expect more, but he's playing at the false nine. Like, what the hell is Xabi Alonso doing? Why are you trying to be like, you know what happened to Xabi Alonso? He got Pepizitis. He thought he was Pep. Oh, I could do Gundogan in the DM and nothing's going to happen. Oh, I'm going to play Florian Wirtz in the false nine. Nothing will happen. And then you got just shellacked. So I think, yeah, you could save Wirtz, stock down, but the dude is still unbelievable. And maybe he would have had a better second leg, and then he got injured.
So is Jeremy Frimpong a better nominee from Leverkusen?
To be honest, I was going to put Hinkapie there.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Granted, it wasn't great from anybody on Leverkusen. But...
No, but I thought a lot of the goals from Bayern Munich came down his side. I thought Olise was cooking him at times, and I thought Hinkapie was really struggling. You know, he's not... Do you really categorize him as like a left back? I don't really see that. I think he's a left center back. So when I see him playing in the left back position, I'm like, you're just nullifying this guy from what he's actually good at. Where if he's just in the 18-yard box and defending there, that's where you're going to see the best of Hinkapie. But yeah, he got into one-on-one situations against Olise, and Olise was beating him quite a bit. And obviously, he got the cross into Kane. He had that one shot off, I think it was off the post or just near the top left corner. So I thought Hinkapie really struggled because I'm not going to have any stock in Jonathan Tah. I'm sorry, I'm not. Tapsoba, no. I have stock in Hinkapie. I think this guy deserves a move to an Atleti, even a Liverpool. So if you're going to put up those performances, not looking good.
As a CB, I think he would deserve a move like that. I think it's Calafiori, bro, at Arsenal. You're playing him at left back. He just doesn't have the speed. He's honestly a little too big to play as an outside fullback. Hinkapie, he's just going to be a serviceable left back. You could even say good. He'll never be a great left back. And so anytime he has to mark somebody with the skill of an Olise or an elite winger, yeah, he can guard the shit wingers. Great. Nobody cares. But when it comes down to it, when he's got to go up against Mike Tyson, he's going to lose those rounds every single time. And so, yeah, I guess you could go stock down for Hinkapie if you wanted to. I think you could give it to anybody in Leverkusen. I mean, the whole squad really deserves some smoke for that. I have a hater one here. And this is like hater from a place of love. And that's Kang-in from PSG.
Oh, okay. I didn't see this one coming.
Zero. Explain. None of y'all did. Zero impact in the tie against Liverpool as a substitute. 19 minutes played. Didn't even feature in the first game when it was in Paris. The guy is insanely talented. I think when he was at Mallorca, he was Mallorca. It was him and Mariki, and he was responsible for 95% of the offensive output of that team. He got to move to PSG. I didn't like it when it happened. I don't like it now. I feel like it is becoming obvious as the season has progressed that he is becoming an afterthought in this squad. And there's too much talented young French players in PSG for Kang-in to have a home here much longer. Like, first off, I've never been big on him being a winger. I think he should be a 10. I think he should be central. He's played as a winger on Luis Enrique. Guess what? PSG have France's, winger attack for the next 15 years on the roster. Why would Luis Enrique play Kang-in there? Clearly he didn't. He didn't sub in until extra time away at Anfield. And I mean, he had a couple shots that were just flaccid, barely went anywhere, didn't even get off the ground. Allison basically just picked it up. I mean, he looks like his confidence is shot. And this is one of the most talented players, arguably the most tech player in Asia. If you want to go Kairi Mitoma, sure. The comparison is always him versus Kubo. I think Kang-in is better than Kubo as an individual. I do. especially for the Korean national team versus Kubo with Japan. Kubo doesn't have the moments with Japan yet. And I was looking at their transfer market value. I think Kubo's 40 million right now. Lee Kang-in is 35. And that's
Oh,
probably
wow.
because Kubo is at a club like Sociedad where he's trusted. He's the guy. I think Lee Kang-in
And
after
starting
this
every
UCL
game.
16, and when he doesn't start, people are like, where the hell is Kubo, right? I think Lee Kang-in's in a bad situation. This proved to me PSG ain't it. And it doesn't mean he
No.
can't be at a good club. You gotta go somewhere else. And you have to do it quickly because we know as an Asian player, you don't have the luxury of failing many times. You fail a couple times, boom, bro. I mean, you're heading back to the homeland. I don't think Lee Kang-in would ever do that because of just what he's done, but maybe an MLS move. Maybe it's a move to this Saudi Arabian. I'm talking nightmare
No.
scenario here, but
Oh, that is beyond a nightmare. Oh my God.
beyond, bro, if he signs with the Chicago Fire, I'm gonna be furious.
He
But
goes to
I
San
care
Diego
about this.
FC and joins Chucky Lozano or something.
I mean, dude, if they don't win MLS at that point, that would be crazy. But I mean, this is one of Asia's best players, and he wasn't
Mhm.
trusted at all. And his minutes are going down. And the fans, they don't seem to like him, which I don't understand because if you look at his performances in Ligue 1, they're actually pretty solid. But whatever. He just isn't wanted there for whatever reason. So you got two options. You stick around, you do the Ryan Gravenberch, and you try to ball out again next season, regain trust, or you leave, depending on, I don't know, what he
Okay,
thinks his chances are of success.
what would be an ideal club for him or a league or anything like that? What would be an ideal club in your thoughts?
Maybe it's because this club is front of mind. But if you want to talk about a team that needs help in the midfield and creativity, AC Milan. Put him next to Reinders. Reinders, Yunus
Um,
Musa, Lee Kang-in. Musa's the legs, Reinders box to box, Lee Kang-in 10.
I'm not starting Yunus Musa, but I could see Kang-in in the midfield. Yeah, I could see him in the 10 role. I was thinking, to be honest, Bayer Leverkusen or Dortmund.
Oh,
If they move on from Wirtz, go sign him. If Dortmund, they're trusting Julian Brandt. Giovanni Reina is a hologram at this point. Go get Lee Kang-in. Try him. Obviously, they signed Carney Chukwuemeka from Chelsea, so I don't think they would go for Lee Kang-in. But yeah, I do fear for him. I don't think this is going well. And I do see a lot of PSG fans be frustrated. And you saw when he got onto the field against Liverpool in that second leg, all he thought in his head was, I need to score. I need to have an impact. But then you see the other players that come off the bench for PSG, Desiree Doué, have much more impactfulness than Lee Kang-in. Gonzalo Ramos obviously comes onto the field and gets the penalty. So yeah, it's troubling time for him, and I think this is definitely his last season at PSG.
okay. That was my hipster. I had the Carreras for stock up. Hater, I'm sorry. Lee Kang-in stock down. I care about you, bro. Get out. You got another one?
Okay, this is my last one, and it's a player that is deep in your heart. He's deep in your heart.
Damn it.
And that is
I knew this.
Antoine Griezmann. I think we have to
I
have
knew
that
this day would
discussion
come.
that those two performances was not Griezmann. I don't know what I was watching out there. Somebody, FBI report. Somebody in Madrid, please report Griezmann missing. Did he do anything? Let's
No.
be honest here, people. This is Antoine Griezmann. Okay, yes, he's 33 years old, but he's still having I would say, a good season. Not a very good season by his standards, because by his standards, he's getting like 20 goals and 10 assists in the league and very impactful in the Champions League. He did nothing in these two games. And I think it's just the age. And it wasn't even just, okay, off the ball, he was bad. Even on the ball, poor passing, poor shooting, couldn't start the counterattacks for Atletico when they had multiple opportunities, especially in the second leg, where you see Madrid, they're all over the place defensively. Julian Alvarez is making a run in behind. Simeone's making a run in behind. Griezmann can't find the pass. He can't find the touch. And I thought, to be honest, other than Salah, he was the worst performer in the Champions League this round.
Most disappointing? I think so. He should have picked that Real Madrid defense apart, and he did nothing. And it should never be the case where Antoine Griezmann plays a game of football and nobody knows he's out there. Like, there were parts, especially in the home leg at the Metropolitano, when he was subbed off, I was like, wait a minute, Griezmann was out there? I thought we were starting goddamn Riquelme this entire time. No, it was Griezmann out there. He did nothing, man. And I think we've talked about this many times on Lengua de la Liga. It's a show here on Double TV. Michael's always on that as well. Hit subscribe. The impact in the big games, whether it's La Liga, whether it's the Copa del Rey, whether it's the Champions League for Griezmann this season, it ain't there. And it does look like the move to MLS probably needs to happen. And it's very painful for me to say that, but it looks like he's a bit disinterested and maybe just a bit done with the Atletico project. And, he's a club legend. He's been there forever. Nobody can say he didn't try. Nobody can say he didn't give his all for the club, but he's not the difference maker that we need anymore. And I think of all of the players in the Champions League, if you look at their statistical output, I think Griezmann's numbers deceive the most, more than anybody else. Because if you look at the UCL in total, 10 games, 6 goals, 2 assists. Somebody who didn't watch Atleti, you would say, wow, I mean, you guys are being harsh. Griezmann was pretty good. 2 of those goals came against RB Salzburg. 2 of those goals came against Slovan Bratislava. The other goal came against RB Leipzig. The other goal came against Sparta Prague. Michael, how many of those teams advanced past the group phase of the UCL? Do you know by chance?
None of them.
None of them. None of them
God.
advanced. In fact, only one of
And
them
I
finished
think
higher than 30th.
I was just gonna say I think 3 of the 4 finished in the bottom 3.
Correct. So he had 1 goal involvement, the assist when we terrorized a win away at PSG against a decent side in the entire competition this year, excuse me. So this is nothing short of a disastrous UCL campaign for Griezmann. I'm sorry, the standard, it's his fault. The standard is high because of who he is as a player. If I was looking at 6 goals, 2 assists from Giuliano Simeone, I don't care if it's against Sparta Prague. I'm going to say, hey, man, that's fantastic. You're new to the squad. You're becoming part of the 11 this year. That's a great debut season. It's not a great season for the 33-year-old talisman of the team who's supposed to carry us when we need it. He did not do that. And I think a good leg or a good set of legs against Real Madrid, everything would have been forgiven. Who cares that you didn't do well against Benfica? Who cares? You got us over the line against Real Madrid, our arch rival. And instead, he wasn't even poor. He was not mid. He was a ghost. An absolute ghost. So yeah, I think if we're in a different universe where La Liga is the most talked about league instead of the Prem, everybody's dragging Antoine Griezmann instead of Mohamed Salah right now. Period.
Agreed.
Not
Agreed.
debatable.
Do you think he was the worst player in both the games in the Madrid derby? Do you think he was worse than Vinny and Mbappe?
Given the circumstances, yes. I mean, I would love to see Vinicius and Mbappe get to go at their own back line and see what they would do, right? I would love to see the circumstances flipped around for those sets of players and see how they would perform were they in the opposite side. I mean, I don't see Vinicius and Mbappe suiting up for Atletico and just having zero impact whatsoever, right, with the Metropolitano rocking like it was, with Gallagher scoring in the first 120 seconds. There's no way. I mean, there should have been space, and there wasn't. There should have been runs, there weren't. There should have been final balls put in, there weren't. And a lot of that has to be put on Griezmann's shoulders. It was really disappointing, and
it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. He really needs to ball out, and we need to win the Copa del Rey for this to not be something that stings for a while, I will say.
Yeah, I would agree. And that stock is plummeting since 2025. Don't invest, people. I don't think it's going to turn around.
No, I think it's done. I think it's just take your earnings, close it out, buy the S&P 500. Buy Nuno Mendes. That's probably this is a good time to buy Nuno Mendes. This is a good time to buy Pacho. Really good time to buy William Pacho. Asensio, do we dare even say? That's still a penny stock. It's risky. Maybe don't go in there with too much money. It's risky. That's all for my list. You got anybody else?
Nope, that's it. I'm intrigued to see who we have after the quarterfinals, though, if we do this after the quarterfinals, because maybe even, again, PSG stocks are just going crazy, or they plummet.
Dude, if we get back on here and the first name we say for stock up again is Pacho, he got to be top 5. I mean, there's no way he could be on back-to-back episodes featured like that and not be top 5. Ecuador up tremendous if that happens. So
people just invest into Ecuador center backs. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, that's like blue chip stocks. Ecuador defenders. Just buy them all. Like you literally, and Moises Caicedo, you literally cannot go wrong. It's a guaranteed return. It's like buying treasuries or something. Maybe we should do like a financial breakdown at some point in one of these episodes. But guys, that is going to be our official stock up and stock down after the round of 16. We will possibly be doing this again, if not for the quarterfinals. Maybe we can do it after the semis, and certainly we have to do something when the Champions League is over. There's probably going to be a whole episode dedicated to the final, and of course all the storylines that are going to be involved in the Champions League as this tournament progresses. Michael and I already did a biggest storylines heading into the knockouts. There will be a part 2 for that at some point. Just with the international break, your boys are too busy. We got to watch all the AFC games, CONMEBOL games. I got CONCACAF streams until 2 a.m. So you got CAF, and I think that's going on literally today as well. I'm trying to watch some of those too. And UEFA Nations League, God help us. There's a lot going on, so we are going to try to get these to you guys as soon as we can. The only way to know if those happen or not is to be subscribed, both to me and to Michael Talks Football. The link to his Twitter and his YouTube channel will be in the description of this video. We hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, share this episode with a friend. Drop your thoughts down below in the comments, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.